Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into Oppenheimer Holdings Inc.'s latest filing. And let me tell you, it's packed with some juicy details. Get ready to decode the numbers that really matter. Alright, so what we have here is a current report from Oppenheimer Holdings Inc. Think of this like a quick update on major events happening with the company. The date we're looking at for this report is August 1, 2025, which also happens to be the earliest event we're going to discuss. This is a snapshot that tells us what's been going on with Oppenheimer recently. Now, Oppenheimer Holdings Inc. is publicly traded under the ticker symbol OP on the New York Stock Exchange. This means anyone can buy a piece of the company, and these reports are how we, the public, stay informed about what's happening behind the scenes. This specific document is called a Form 8K. It's used by companies to announce major events that shareholders should know about. So when you see an 8K, it's usually because something significant has occurred. The most important part of this particular 8K is that it's reporting on the company's financial results. On August 1st, the company released its earnings for the second quarter of 2025. This is huge because earnings reports are like a company's report card for how it performed financially over a specific period. Knowing these numbers helps us understand if the company is growing, making money, and is generally doing well or not so well. The company issued a press release on August 1st to share these second quarter results. This press release is attached to this filing as Exhibit 99.1. Now, while this information is publicly shared, the filing also clarifies that this type of information, even though it's filed with the SEC, isn't considered officially filed in the same way as other parts of the report. This is a bit of legal jargon, but essentially it means they're providing the information, but with a disclaimer that might limit certain types of legal accountability. It's like saying, here's the info, but don't hold us strictly liable for every single detail in this particular piece. The core purpose of this report is to tell us about the company's financial performance. Companies like Oppenheimer Holdings manage a lot of money and make decisions based on their financial health. This filing essentially confirms they've put out their latest numbers and what those numbers represent. When we look at these earnings reports, we're usually trying to see how the company is doing compared to expectations and compared to its own past performance. For Oppenheimer Holdings on August 1st, 2025, the big news was the announcement of their second quarter earnings for 2025. While this specific filing does not contain the detailed financial tables within itself, as it primarily references a press release for those details, the implication is that this press release contains the crucial financial figures. We expect these to show how the company has performed in the areas of its business, such as investment banking, asset management, or whatever Oppenheimer's specific services are. Imagine a company is like a ship sailing through the ocean. Earnings reports are like the logbook that tells you if the ship is moving forward smoothly, if it's encountering storms, or if it's making good time. For Oppenheimer Holdings, these second quarter results would tell us how their business has been doing in the spring and early summer of 2025. Are they bringing in more money than they are spending? Are their investments paying off? Are their customers satisfied with their services? All these questions are answered in the earnings report. While this document itself is a bit more formal and less about the raw numbers, it's pointing us to the place where those numbers live. The press release it references is where we'd find the actual revenue figures, profit margins, and other key performance indicators. For instance, if the press release indicated revenue growth, that would be a positive sign. If it showed a decline in profits, that would be a red flag. The value of these filings, even the ones that just point to other documents, is that they confirm information is being shared according to regulatory requirements. It's a way for the company to be transparent with its investors and the market. The fact that they're issuing this report on August 1st means the information in the press release is fresh. Essentially, this 8K is the official wrapper that tells us Oppenheimer Holdings has put out their Q2 2025 earnings and where to find them. So what does this all mean for Oppenheimer Holdings? By releasing their second quarter earnings, they are allowing investors and analysts to gauge the company's financial health, operational efficiency, and overall strategic progress. If the earnings are strong, it can boost investor confidence, potentially leading to a higher stock price. Conversely, weak earnings might signal underlying problems that need to be addressed. This report is a key piece of the puzzle in understanding Oppenheimer's current standing in the financial industry. Looking at the broader picture, companies in the financial sector are often influenced by market conditions, interest rates, and regulatory changes. Oppenheimer Holdings, operating in this environment, would have its financial performance reflect these external factors. For example, a period of high interest rates might impact borrowing costs or investment returns differently than a period of low rates. The second quarter of 2025 would have its own unique economic backdrop, and the company's results would be a direct consequence of how it navigated that landscape. Now let's think about the implications. By providing this update, Oppenheimer is engaging in what's known as material event disclosure. They are informing the public about something significant that could affect their business. This transparency is crucial for maintaining trust with shareholders and the broader investment community. It's how the market functions efficiently, with all participants having access to the same important information. The focus for us as observers is to then take that press release and dig into the specifics. What were the key financial numbers? Did they beat expectations? How do these numbers compare to last year at the same time? For example, if Oppenheimer reported a 10% increase in revenue, it would mean they are bringing in $1 for every $10 they made last year at the same time. That's a tangible growth figure investors would scrutinize. Similarly, if profit margins tightened, meaning they earned less profit for every dollar of revenue, that would be a concern. Ultimately, this filing is a gatekeeper to that essential financial information. It's not just about the numbers themselves, but what those numbers indicate about the company's strategy, its management's effectiveness, and its future prospects. We anticipate that Oppenheimer Holdings Inc. presented a picture of their financial situation that either reinforces confidence in their business model or highlights areas needing improvement. Now, for our take on Oppenheimer Holdings based on this filing, it's important to remember this 8K itself is very high level. It's telling us that the company has shared its performance for the second quarter of 2025. The real story, the detailed financial data that tells us whether Oppenheimer is truly thriving or just surviving, is in that press release it references without those specific numbers from the press release it references. Without those specific numbers from the press release it references, without those specific numbers from the press release it references. Without those specific numbers from the press release it references, without those specific numbers from the press release it references, without those specific numbers from the press release it references, without those specific numbers from the press release. It's hard to give a definitive analysis of their strengths or weaknesses. However, the act of releasing timely financial information, as is expected, of a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange is a standard practice. The key takeaway from this filing is that Oppenheimer has fulfilled its obligation to disclose its performance for the July to September quarter of 2025. The critical next step would be to examine that press release for metrics like revenue growth, profit margins, assets under management, and any forward-looking guidance the company might have provided. For instance, if their reported earnings exceeded analyst expectations, that would signal a potential strength in their business strategy and execution. Conversely, if they missed expectations or showed a significant year-over-year decline in profitability, that would be a notable risk and a weakness to consider. We'll be looking for any discussion of market share, competitive positioning, or new initiatives that might explain their financial results. Alright, that's our breakdown of what this Oppenheimer Holdings Inc. filing means in simpler terms. What's your take on the importance of these earnings updates and what signals they send? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let us know what you'd like us to decode next. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into corporate finance. We also have a thriving Discord community linked in the description where you can discuss these topics further. Thanks for watching. See you next time.